So probably every good musician ever has probably said that you need to practice your scales and your arpeggios.
You must learn your scales and your arpeggios.
A little while ago on my channel, I posted a video on one way that I like to practice my scales, and this video, I'm sure as you guessed it, is all about how to practice your arpeggios. So if you're new here, my name is John. Welcome to my channel where I talk about classical guitar, music, and just being an overall musician. If you like what you see in this video, go ahead and give it a like down below. Let me know some thoughts and questions you might have in the comment section. And of course, if you like what you see, consider subscribing to the channel as it would help me just reach more people. So the video segment that you're about to see is a video that I did for GFA TV back in April, I want to say. And it was a video that I talked about how to sequence arpeggios. And sequencing is something that has to do with having a proper plan and a proper order for how you play them. What I tell my students is if you don't have a sequence, it's kind of like just swinging your fingers at the string, hoping that they'll hit the string, and hoping it will sound kind of good. So before I cut to the video segment, I want to apologize for any awkwardness that you might see in that video. One, I was a lot newer at making videos back then, and two, I thought this was supposed to be something a little bit more formal anyway. But that's also the cool thing about making YouTube videos is that you can go back and watch and listen to almost everything that you've done and really see how you've developed and improved over time. I just wanted to share that. Anyway, let's see what we got going on with some arpeggios. So the first thing you might be asking is, what is sequencing, right? So you might have heard this term when it comes to dealing with things with numbers, for example, and it kind of has to do with that. Basically, sequencing has to do with the order of things. So the sequencing doesn't have to do with the what or the when, but it has to do with the how. Not when are the fingers moving, but how are they moving. So let's take a PIM arpeggio as an example. When does the index finger play? When does it land to play? When does it get ready to play? And what's it doing when it's not playing? All of that is going to be explained when I talk about the sequence for this arpeggio. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to have the thumb rested on the 5th string ready to play, and the index middle finger are going to be inside the hand. Now they're not going to be closed like a fist, but they're not going to be hanging out too loose either like this. They're going to be kind of in here a little bit without being forced. What we're going to do is the thumb's going to play, and these fingers are going to fall out of the hand like this. Once they fall out of the hand, the index finger is going to land on the B string, getting ready to play the next note. As you notice now, the index finger is ready to play, the middle finger is outside of the hand, and the thumb is also at rest. Once we do this, the index finger is going to play, and the middle finger is going to prepare, and the thumb is going to stay exactly where it is. So that will look something like this. Now, the index finger is inside the hand where it was kind of in the beginning, the middle finger is ready to play, thumb is where it was before. Next, the middle finger is going to play, and the thumb is going to fall back on the string, and the middle finger and the index finger are going to be back in the hand exactly where they started off. So let's see if we can do the same thing with a little bit less talking. So the thumb is going to be ready to play. Thumb plays, fingers fall, index finger prepares on B. Once that happens, index finger goes ahead and plays, middle finger prepares, index is in the hand, thumb is at rest. Middle finger plays, middle finger and index finger in the hand, thumb prepares, and you're back at ground zero. So let's go ahead and do that same thing in a loop at a little bit faster speed. So the real trick with sequencing is knowing how the fingers move, but more so how they move in relation to each other, having a step-by-step process of where they are at each given point of the arpeggio. So now that you understand how this works, you can take this concept and apply it to pretty much any right-hand arpeggio pattern. So let's apply it to a maybe more complicated one, maybe a P-I-M-A-M-I pattern. And that would look something like this. You're going to start with the thumb prepared on the 5th string, just like before, and having the fingers in the hand. Thumb plays, fingers fall, I prepares. I plays, M prepares, I is in the hand. M plays, A prepares, and I and M are both in the hand, and the thumb is hanging out where it was before. Now this is where it changed a bit, because once A plays, you have to get M ready again. So after A plays, you're going to have M fall and prepare. M is prepared, A is in the hand, and I actually falls out with M, at least in the way that I like to do it. And then M plays, I prepares, M and A are in the hand, I plays, and then all three are back in the hand, and now you're back to the beginning. So a little faster, that would look something like this. So to end this video off, I want to briefly talk to you about why this is so important. So let's take the idea of any large assembly line kind of thing. You want to know the how and the when of each part to make sure that it runs smoothly. Now the same thing is going to go true for your playing. Let's say you're playing in public for someone, and when you play you get nervous. A general habit when people get nervous is they start to speed up. Now if you start to speed up and there's no plan for your fingers, that's when your fingers are going to start to lose control and you're going to start to mess up. But if you have a plan and you work your fingers in that plan at a certain speed, you have a higher chance of being successful. So to show how this works, let's take an excerpt from a piece that you guys might not be that familiar with. That's okay, but the piece is Isaac Albéniz's Asturias. So if I were to play this with the sequence properly, it would look something like this. Now as I'm playing this, you notice that the fingers are moving in the exact same sequence as before. Let's start to speed it up. So as you may have noticed, as my fingers started to get faster, I was able to maintain the same order of the sequence of how they were moving. Now by doing this, this is what allowed me to more or less maintain the same quality of sound that I just had earlier when I was doing it slower. The trick to doing this is work out the sequencing nice and slow, get them moving correctly, and then boost up the speed as you get more comfortable with it. Okay, so if you're still here, hopefully that means that wasn't too awkward for you, and hopefully you learned something from it as well. To any of the current subscribers, thank you so much. We're actually almost at 700 subscribers as of the night of me making this video, and I definitely want to do something for the 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you're not already, go ahead and hit subscribe to be updated on what that will be. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again.